Hello and welcome to the Asian Games. Scott McIntyre and Michael Church coming to you from downtown Doha on another historic night. Qatar make it back-to-back finals appearances in line to defend their title. I don't know how many people actually gave them a shot of doing that. Another fantastic game, maybe not the highest technical quality, but absolute drama. I mean, we saw 5 goals, we saw a red card, we saw a load of VAR incidents, we saw a dust-up between the players at the end of the game. We'll get to some of the comments from the players about that incident as well. But Michael Church, how do you sum things up overall? Qatar emerging 3-2 winners.
As you say, Scott, a lot of drama, not a lot of quality, but Qatar through to the final for the second Asian Cup in a row. Second Asian Cup in a row. Hard to say who deserved it, really. Both teams were really not at their best, in fact a long way off their best. But I think Qatar drive to it by Akram Afif, a really good performance by him. Excellent goal to give Qatar the lead just before half-time break. All set up for Saturday.
So things got started in just the 4th minute. A fantastic finish from Sada Asmor, a kind of sideways bicycle kick. And at that point you thought, okay, here we go, right? It's Iran's match to lose. I mean, scoring so early, settling the nerves, it was exactly what needed to happen. Did you also have that maybe impression at that point?
Yeah, I did. I think that's a fair appraisal. I think there was really a sense from the way they really started the game. Not just the goal, but they looked like they might actually be quite rampant in terms of they certainly had opportunities to get a second, and had they got the second, they might even have got a third. And then Afif was really instrumental in pulling Qatar back into it. He was heavily involved in the equaliser, and of course he scored the second. He made the difference 31st half.
Of course, Qatar did level things up. It was probably, I guess, should have maybe gone down as an own goal. It did go to Justin Gaber in the end. 1-1 at that point, and then, as you said, a couple of minutes after half-time, probably the moment that really swung the game. It was a scrappy first half, and you always had the sense that, given the nature of the game, that this was Akram Afif's stage to shine, that a moment of brilliance could have turned things, and that was ultimately what happened. Just a fantastic goal, and you saw what it meant to him as well, going over, pulling the badge, celebrating with the crowd. If we thought momentum was with the Iranians early on, that was the moment then when things swung back firmly in favour of the Qataris.
Yeah, definitely. And then after half-time, we saw the Iranians make several changes. They were really ineffective, I thought, in the first half, particularly playing the ball out from the back. There were a number of mistakes being made by Haj Safi. Both of them were pretty ineffective, and it was no surprise that both were changed at half-time by Amir Galanoi. And the Iranians certainly, I suppose in some respects, they started the second half much the way they started the first. They were the better team. They were on the front foot. They got the penalty, a little bit fortunate to get the penalty, I thought. But it was the kind of incident where referees have been given penalties for those kind of incidents now from last year in all competitions.
Your voice is going.
It's going
celebrating too much.
It's just getting the better of me. But brilliantly taken penalty by Alireza Jahanbakhsh. But again, Qatar dragged themselves back into the game, and I think there's a resilience to this team, and certainly there's resilience to Akram Afif. I think he's decided he's winning this competition for Qatar.
Yeah, that was the moment. 6 minutes into the second half, Iran got a penalty. Jahanbakhsh another fantastic dispatch from the spot to make it 2-2. There was a kind of spell where Iran were getting back into the rhythm of the game, but then that late blow, the 82nd minute, Ali finishing things off. In between that, we saw a red card. We saw the game become a little bit more tense, a little bit more niggly. Qatar ended up winning it, courtesy of the goal 3-2, and then we saw the scenes at the end.
Not before Jahanbakhsh hit the post.
Sure, exactly. 30 minutes of stoppage time as well, a couple of times. So before we get into the late incidents, I did have a brief chat with Alireza Jahanbakhsh after the match, and this is what he had to say.
Just your reaction to the defeat.
Yeah, it's difficult to talk about this game. We did it all. We did our best to make it happen, but yeah, unfortunately, the luck was not in our side. I think we did a great performance as a team. I would say I'm really proud of this team. We did everything to turn it around. We considered very unexpected goals, to be honest, especially first one and the third one. But yeah, we did our best to come back to the game, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen today.
There was so much expectation from the Iranian public. What was the reaction in the dressing room? Who did someone step up as a leader and address the group, and what was said?
Yeah, of course there was a lot of disappointment as a team, everybody individually, all the staff. We expected a lot from ourselves as well. But yeah, what I can say, I'm really proud of this group of players, the staff, everybody around the team. We did our best since, I would say, 45 days ago. Day in, day out, we work hard to make our people back home happy. Yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen. I would say apologize to people of Iran because they deserve a lot. We did everything to make them happy and proud, but unfortunately, like I said, luck was not in our side today.
What happened after the match between the players and the fans of Qatar?
Yeah, there is a lot of emotions involved, to be honest. I think, yeah, the reaction after the game and the things they said, it wasn't really nice to hear. I mean, yeah, of course, in football you lose, you win. I think what is all matter is respect, and I don't think if they, in some part, especially towards the end of the game, they had respect for our team. The things we were hearing on the stand, it wasn't really nice and respectful. That's why there was a reaction afterwards. But like I said,
were being said?
Yeah, just calling the nation, calling the Iranian names, as a country. And I'm making some jokes what we were hearing towards the end, and that makes a reaction of some of our boys. But like I said, that makes this game so beautiful. It's all about emotions, and of course we have to be more focused on the game and not really focusing on what's happening outside. But yeah, sometimes, like I said, it's about moments, and our boys they reacted after the game. But it was all good after, and it didn't happen crazy things, to be honest.
Do you have a sense that this is the end of an era for Iranian football? A lot of players are at the age where they may look to retire and move on. Was this the last chance for this generation, this group?
And
Yeah.
you said, and you said with that generation we have to want something big for the Iran. With that generation, with their players, what happens again?
Yeah, to be honest, the biggest disappointment for me individually is that because, like I said, this group of players, they deserve much more. We had some great performances. We knew it's a tough tournament, but we had a strong belief that we're gonna do big things. But like I said, today I think we were a better side. We just conceded in some unnecessary moments, to be honest, and that makes a big difference. But yeah, congrats to Qatar. Yeah, they are the winner side today. But yeah, I mean, for our generation, we really wanted to do something for our people because this is an amazing group of players, individually as a group as well. Not only football and potential, but also like as a person. These boys are amazing guys, and but yeah, it didn't happen. We are towards most of this generation are in 30s. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but what I know is now we have to recover from this game and planning for the future.
All right, so as we heard Alireza touch on there was this incident at the end of the game. And Mehdi Taremi looked like was surrounded by the Qataris when they were celebrating. He kicked off, they kicked off back, and quite strong words there from Jahanbakhsh, basically saying he felt it was a combination of maybe the players and the fans that were insulting Iran, insulting the nation of Iran. So it's quite a big claim to make. Is this something that maybe we could hear a little bit more about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just emotions were very high after the end of a game in which both teams really, looked like they were going to win it at one point. And I think, look, from the Iranian perspective, those players, their emotions are raw. This is the 8th time that Iran have been in the final of the Asian Cup, the semi-finals of the Asian Cup, and not made it through to the final. Everybody's going to be sensitive. These players in particular, the likes of Jahanbakhsh, the likes of Mehdi Taremi. It's possible that this is their last opportunity to win the Asian Cup, and to lose it in such a fashion. Really, in many respects, they lost it themselves. It was there to be won, and they didn't take the opportunity when it presented us. So, I don't know. I think in fact it's something out of nothing, really.
not many of the Qatari players wanted to stop and talk at the end of the game. I think they were focused on getting back to the hotel, resting and starting to prepare for the final. But one player who did briefly stop and we managed to get a few words with was Tarek Salman.
It's just we have 2 days to prepare for Jordan. It's a big game, of course. Playing two Arab countries in the final is something special for Arab people. That maybe people will be very happy. Arab people will be very happy that the football in Arab countries are improving, and being on the final and the biggest tournament in our region in Asia. So we are very happy of what we did.
So two absolutely crazy games against Uzbekistan and against Iran. Which games were more difficult to reach open? Uzbekistan or Iran?
Of course, Iran. Iran was a difficult game, and I think one of the countries that all the people was saying that they're supposed to take the cup or they are going to the final. So beating them is something special. Also, long time we didn't win against Iran, so it's something special for us. And as you know, Iran team have too much players playing in Europe, playing in professional teams. So it's a big thing that we did today. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, Michael, so coming back, when the history books are written, 50 years, you look back on this thing, Qatar won the last tournament, they're through to the final of this one. If you look at it on paper, this is a golden generation. It's a period of dominance of Asian football from Qatar. I'm not necessarily sure that that's the way that things have played out, but this is the way that history will remember this side. Qatar now really standing on the brink of making an extraordinary achievement where we've seen other nations in the World Cup maybe do far better things on a bigger stage, but certainly at continental level, this has been Qatar's period.
Yeah, and if you look back at the nations that have won back-to-back Asian Cups, so Japan have done it, Saudi Arabia have done it, Iran have done it, and so those are 3 of the 4 or 5 big nations, the historical.
Iran did it when there were 8 nations in the tournament. I don't
sure,
know
but they still, but they also did it 3 times in a row. So the Koreans have done it as well. Those are still considered the strongest nations in Asian football in general. So to have Qatar sitting there alongside those. It's interesting because I think, will we see the Qatari dominance continue, or will we see other generations coming through? Because ultimately, this is the team that was being built for the 2022 World Cup. They had that great success in 2019. I think that 2019 is a better team than this one. I think they're a more complete team. They played a lot more entertaining football, and they dominated that competition, I think, a lot more than this team are doing here now. But yes, it's an interesting question, which I don't know if I'll be around to actually properly answer in 50 years' time, but let's see.
There were questions coming in this game about the quality, perhaps, of the opposition that Qatar had met in this tournament. This was, in a way, we'd say maybe their first serious test against one of the big, higher-ranked nations. They passed it. Do you think now, heading into the final, Jordan, of course, exceeding all expectations, given we will do a full preview in a couple of days, but do you have a full preview? That is coming. Do you have an early tip on who might go into the final as favourites?
I think you have to look at Qatar in terms of their experience, the players that they have in terms of they've already done this before in 2019, and also home field advantage and the benefit that they clearly get from playing in front of very boisterous and very and big crowds here at home. That said, I still wasn't even convinced really by them tonight. I felt the Iranians blew their chance tonight. I think the Iranians really, let's not say they gave it away, but it was there to be won. They didn't take the opportunity. I think they choked a little bit. I thought some of the performances tonight were certainly not at the level that they showed against the Japanese. So I wouldn't necessarily read too much into Qatar's performance tonight and use that to extrapolate from that they're going to win the final. Jordan are a very good side. They've proven that time and time again. But I think Qatar shared it just on the home advantage.
I went on a bit of an extended love letter to Musa Tamari last night. I think we need to do the same. We touched on it again, but Akram Afif, I think we started the week saying Akram Afif can't be caught for the player of the tournament. Then we changed our tune last night to saying it's probably Musa Tamari's to lose, and now we're back to who knows. Obviously, it'll come down head to head. And basically, given that Afif starts on the left and Tamari kind of starts on the right, it's almost a match-up on the same side of the pitch as well. So that may decide that. But again, it's just yeah, just a magical performance again. You know, the touches, and I think the other thing is the mentality. Like, there were a few moments, you know, when the ball had gone out for throw-ins, and he kind of picked it up, and you know, he held it behind his back, he flicked it to other parts of the pitch. They were a goal up late. They had the extra player advantage as well, and instead of going to the corner on a long breakaway, we saw Alireza Berenbaum plays at number 6 for the last couple of minutes. But you know, he had an option to kind of kill the game, but he still tried to play. So you know, it's the mentality of the guy, and it really meant something to him as well. You know, tonight. But yeah, just the pure technique of him and Thumama. I think, you know, there are other players that maybe enter the tournament with bigger reputations, or sort of playing at higher levels. But these two have been the absolute standout pair of the tournament. And it's, as it was a privilege last time to watch Thumama, it's another privilege to watch Akram Afif live.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, his reaction to the goal that he scored, the goal that put the Qataris ahead just before the end of the first half, the bicep curling, the fist pumping, you know, that meant so much to him, and it's obviously so important to him to be a leader of this team. Not a leader, but he's the leader of this team. Between him and Hassan Haidos, you know, there was at one point during that first half, after the Iranians had got in front, he was the guy who was leading the charge to get them back into that game. He was exceptional. Goal was superb when he cut it inside and he bent it past Berenbaum with his right foot. Sitting where I was sitting, I was directly in line with him. You saw as soon as it left his foot, it was only going one place. Berenbaum didn't have a chance of it. It was a brilliant finish. He's been exceptional in spells, I think, in the tournament. I think, you know, we've discussed this previously. I think he kind of drifts in and out of games, and yes, that's partly because of the way he plays, but he also can disappear a little bit. Tonight he was very good when it mattered. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah, different kind of players. Sure. You know, I mean, I mean, comparing Thumama and Afif, Thumama is more of a kind of that runaway ball of energy where, you know, Afif has the magic, you know, in the boots. It's so exciting, you know. Every time you see there's a counter or he's on the ball receiving a long pass, just that sense of excitement and anticipation. We don't see this so often in Asian football. This absolute thrill of these kind of players.
And he also has that. Afif has that flexibility maybe that Thumama doesn't have. He'll pop up on the right, he'll pop up on the... I mean, he's largely, usually on the left-hand side. You can see him playing as a number 10. You can see him playing on the right-hand side as well. He has a bit more of a flexibility about him that maybe Thumama doesn't have. That is also part of the reason why he drifts in and out of games as well. So let's see on Saturday.
As we heard Alireza and Jahanbakhsh say, this is the end of an era for Iranian football. Given the length of time now through to you know, the next World Cup proper, there might be a few guys that kind of hang on to the qualifiers, but the next major tournaments when they come, we expect this to be a vastly different looking Iranian side. We don't know the exact level of the quality coming through either. Maybe at early glances at it doesn't look like it's the kind of quality that this team had. He said that he felt that yeah, this was the closing of a chapter. How sad is it? How disappointing is it for this, I don't know, it's quite a golden generation, but certainly a very, very good generation, to maybe have blown one of the better chances they're going to have to end this long period?
Yeah, it's funny. Amir Galanoy, the Iran coach, was asked about this in the press conference after the match, and he said that he expects in the qualifiers between now and whenever the next World Cup is played in the summer of 2026, his expectation is that there'll be a 50 or 60% turnover in terms of the players that played in this tournament who will hopefully be playing for Iran at the next World Cup. Look, it is. You're right. It's sad that players like Mehdi Taremi, Alireza Jahanbakhsh, Karim Ansari, Salman maybe as well, will not be around when it comes to... I mean, look, maybe they will. I mean, you know, Jahanbakhsh, I think, is 31. The next Asian Cup is in 3 years' time, of course, not 4 years' time, so there's still a possibility that these players could be around. They certainly won't be at their peak by that point. They'll be kind of clinging on by their fingernails. But yeah, this was a great opportunity, and again, as Galanoy mentioned in his press conference, South Korea are out, Australia are out, Saudi Arabia are out, Japan are out. This was an opportunity for them to finally end that 40-year drought, the heartbreak. I mean, this was the 8th time they played in the Asian Cup semi-finals, and they've lost again without going to the final. I mean, it's just heartbreaking for them as a country, heartbreaking for the players, coaching staff, but they've got to pick themselves up and go again, and who knows, maybe it's another generation's the opportunity to do it.
It's fantastic for the tournament, though. The the celebrations are still kicking off behind us. So I don't think anyone in Qatar or Jordan as the finalists, but that is what we have. The stage is set. A couple of days from now, we'll be at the Lusail Stadium, and very much looking forward to that one.
Yes, it should be good as much as anything because it's in the Lusail Stadium, which is a great venue. You know, we had the great pleasure and privilege of being there for the World Cup. Quite possibly the best football stadium in the world. I mean, certainly there are not many that surpass it. The likelihood is it will be full, 80,000+ fans, and hopefully a good game.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll be back to preview all the news, the excitement, and the matchups from the final in a day or so. But until then, it's bye for now.